And it's time for the Gianna Volpe Report, brought to you in part by Maximus Health and Fitness, 130 East Main Street, Riverhead, and by Michael Evans, author of The Real Matrix. So I mentioned before we began this that Abra is sitting there in a beautiful black chiffon gown. I like that very much.
It's because it's her birthday.
And Gianna looks like a schlub this morning in a black turtleneck and over a sweatshirt and ill-fitting jeans.
Oh, you know how I do.
Now last
they're
week,
not like mustard yellow jeans.
And last week she was here like all tan and freshly baked from L.A.
Now I look like I've been hiding in a closet for 10 years.
What happened? I mean, really? And I see you took down the pictures of you in a two-piece on the beach in L.A.
Truth be told, I do not even have one.
Yeah, right. Okay. She looked good on the beach too, friends. Like if you're a young male between the ages of 25 and 34,
stay away from me.
You would have loved to have seen these pictures.
If you are a young male between the ages of 25 and 34, stay away. You're done. I'm done.
Yeah. She says that now.
I'm so happy to have Abra up here this morning because she just kicked off her, she just set up her Kickstarter for the Feisty Acres bobwhite quail release program. So Abra, please tell us about this program.
Well, now that Feisty Acres is up and running and I have all the proper infrastructure to actually brood and sell my own quail for meat and eggs, the next part of creating my farm is to kick off this program to help release bobwhite quail here on the east end of Long Island. Northern bobwhite quail are native to this part of the country, and they're native to many states on the eastern seaboard. The problem is that the northern bobwhite quail, within the past couple of decades, or actually the past 3 or 4 decades, has suffered a drastic decline in population. The main reason for that is habitat loss. So to prosper, bobwhite quail need large expanses of warm season grasses, annual weeds, legumes, briars, and woody thickets to provide cover. Unfortunately, urbanization and suburbanization all over the country is rapidly decreasing their habitat. We're fortunate, though, out here, particularly where I have my farm in Jamesport, there's a lot of preserved farmland that provides a very good habitat for these birds. I want to release about 300 to 500 every season to kind of help them get a foothold. And I also want to reach out to local community programs and activists and maybe civic coalitions to also help me fund this project to release the bobwhite quail. It's a not-for-profit project. This is no income coming into my farm. It's the only reason I would like to do this is to promote the reestablishment of their population in our ecosystem. They eat ticks, they eat deer ticks and dog ticks, and that's a huge problem here on the east end of Long Island. And with the decrease of their population, we've also seen an increase in the populations of these ticks.
I love that. I remember I wrote an article for the Sag Harbor Express about poison ivy and other weed-eating goats.
Yeah.
So they brought out this, a bunch of goats to eat weeds, and I love that the use of animals and other natural ways to fight pests and other,
Yeah, we can use animals, whether they're domesticated or wild, to actually heal the land. Even after intensive periods of agriculture, you can use, let's say, pigs to go through a piece of land that's been fallow for a long time that has small saplings and stuff like that. They'll actually dig up and fell trees. They'll till the soil. They'll eat the roots of weeds. And, maybe within a couple seasons, you can reclaim that land for agricultural use.
It's funny because Southampton Town was, and seriously, they're going to use goats.
Yeah, good.
To trim the grass at the historic cemeteries because those tombstones are very delicate.
Right. Oh, that's such a, because I know, because doing the weed whackers around the base of them, degrades.
It damages them is what it
Right.
does. You can crack them. These things are old.
Oh, yeah. And especially the older ones, the sandstone.
Yep.
They're very, very delicate. And it's a huge problem.
Yeah.
And people and the towns are putting an incredible amount of money into restoring these things. So that's great to know that they're bringing the weed-eating goats back out here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But-
it's nice because also, too, those goats are getting a source of food that they wouldn't normally get. And are these goats being used for dairy or for meat? Or
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I think it might be
But
the same group that the guy uses them for that purpose. He has like.
But they are in
goats
Southampton
for
town.
that.
I think in Bridgehampton, as a matter of
Oh,
fact.
okay.
In Bridgehampton, near Sagaponic, where the swells are.
I love it every time.
We have to bring you down, Abra. You haven't lived until you've gone to Sagaponic.
I've been very close. I used to do the East Hampton Farmers Market for Browder's Birds, and I'm surprised that I was even let down there sometimes.
Well, and I can remember when Bridgehampton was not highfalutin.
Yeah.
Like when Scuttle Hole Road was actually like farms on both sides.
Yeah.
I used to be late for work, getting out to work when I worked out there, because I'd get stuck behind a potato truck. Potato trucks move at 20 miles an hour.
I know. Oh gosh. What's funny about the South Fork is that their land down there is even better for agriculture than our land up here on the North Fork.
Really?
Huh.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
How can you say this?
But she.
Take a look.
I have enough
soil
trouble-
map.
I have enough trouble
Long
growing
Island.
grass on my little patch of dirt.
So, it's richer in nutrients. It's less sandy. What makes South Fork sand?
There's more profiles of loamy soil down there. If you take a look at there are maps actually of different kinds of soil that run through the country. And if you look at the one for Long Island, you'll find that there are more instances of loamy profiled soils down on the South Fork than here on the North Fork. And then also too, here on the North Fork, there's a lot of really intensive agricultural cultivation too that contributed to soil loss.
Okay.
But yes, like hand for hand, it is the soil down there is definitely more conducive to agriculture. For
And
sure.
what is it? The land is more expensive, so there's less farming down there. What?
Oh,
What
it's
do you
more.
think?
It's much more valuable to the
Yeah.
to the tourist trades and the mansions.
That's definitely
Like I can take you. I
that's
can
one
take you to
reason.
places where, and I can show you where the farms used to be, like in Watermill, and in Sagaponic
I
was like
saw-
all potato farms.
Yeah.
I saw.
When I first flew into town,
Yeah.
I saw a bald eagle in Watermill last year. I hear
he
they're
was
coming
missing
back.
his toupee.
There's also one like up where my dad lives, on the lake my dad lives on, and I hear like people are seeing them everywhere now. That's so cool.
It's a good example of how people can help to foster ecosystems for bald eagles and help them regain a population foothold, and that's what I would like to do with the bobwhite quail.
Right.
But the problem is that so I've done a lot of research on this, and a lot of folks are saying, look, raising bobwhite quail for release is not a good idea. And the biggest reason why people say it's not a good idea is because if you raise bobwhite quail and you release them into a place where they don't have a proper habitat, they will never thrive. However, here, like I had said before on the North Fork, particularly in the spot in Jamesport where Feisty Acres and Biophilia is, Phil and I manage our land in a way that really fosters a nice environment for them. There's lots of briars and perennials. We have hedgerows with silky dogwood, which they like. There's plenty of ragweed and beggarweed up where we are, and legumes.
See, you'd never find beggarweed in Sagaponic.
I don't know. I think you might.
Oh no, you
might,
wouldn't.
yeah.
No, not beggarweed. No.
Oh, gosh.
They wouldn't be allowed in.
Oh, dear. Well, So what I want to do is, so the Kickstarter program, the goal is only $2,500, and it's basic.
That's really low.
It is very low, and the reason why it's so low is because the unit that I want to get to help raise these quail is pretty inexpensive. It's about $1,200 to $1,300. It's called a surrogator. People who are game bird hunters might know what a surrogator is. It's basically this unit that you put out on a protected piece of land, and you basically put in a 50-pound bag of feed into it, water, and then, of course, a 40-pound propane tank for heat. And what you do is you put your chicks in there, your day-old chicks, and the surrogator feeds, waters, and heats them, and you don't have to do anything. And this is really, really great for somebody like me who wants to raise them for release, because I want the minimal amount of human contact. I don't want these birds to imprint on me. I want them to keep as many wild instincts as they could possibly have. So the surrogator's, $1,300. I put in, more for shipping, and then the other $800 to $1,000 is going to go towards setting up workshops that I'm going to host at the farm about ecosystems and conservation farming and using animals to heal the land. I want to invite people to help release the bobwhite quail as well once they're about 6 to 7 weeks old. And I'd like to start this as soon as possible. Thankfully, my farm is already set up, and I can, as soon as the funding comes in, I can buy everything right away and start immediately. There won't be any wait time, and I'll definitely be updating my Kickstarter project as I get the chicks and when I put them in the surrogator and all that sort of stuff.
Not to be ignorant, but these are birds.
Correct.
Are they going to migrate south for the winter then?
No, bobwhite quail are non-migratory birds. They're what are known as upland birds. And bobwhite quail will actually stay here summer, fall, winter, and spring. In the winter, what they do is they covey up.
Ooh,
and so they
me
get
too.
Yeah. so they get into about groups of 20 or less, and they basically kind of hang out and protect each other through the winter, keep each other warm, and then during the springtime they break.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
And then in the springtime they break up into breeding pairs, and that's actually when they start breeding. So they'll start breeding here. It's really prime time is May through August/September. And then after they're done breeding, in the fall, they start to covey up again.
I wonder if all this warm weather is screwing the birds up.
Probably not. I don't think so. They probably are able to
They're like,
get
I
more
know.
food.
Well, all right, we'll be back from the break with Abra to talk with Jenny about fencing in Cutchogue. But in the meantime, go to Kickstarter.com, search Feisty Acres, and pledge. Help us kill the ticks.
We're already at 10% of our goal.
Gianna Volpe with a sword. Think about that for a moment. Back on the Gianna Volpe Report, brought to you by MAXIMUS Health and Fitness, 130 East Main Street, Riverhead, and Michael Evans, author of The Real Matrix.
We're back. Hey, Bruce.
Hi.
Hey.
So they're eating. It's 8:30 in the morning, and this is it's like almost like an Italian festival in there.
That's right.
Yeah.
I went to Lombardi's.
There's a nice bottle of Chianti that they're both working on.
Yeah.
The sopressata, the cheese, the crackers. I don't think the Italians do crackers per se.
No, and they're crackers made entirely of cheese, which is new for me.
It's the best birthday breakfast
That's
I think
right.
I've ever had.
And Abra is finally she's 21 today, which is really good.
Thank God.
We're very happy to have her up
21. I feel like I'm 21. It's
She
great.
was just saying that. She said she feels 21.
Yeah, I feel very young. I don't feel
Don't even say it. I didn't want to hear it.
Wait, how old was that guy?
I don't want to hear it.
We had this.
I have a sore throat and you're making me yell.
How old is Vince Giuliano? 88, did he say?
Vince Giuliano is 88, yeah.
Okay, so this guy that I met at the DMV once upon a time.
He
was
also
sitting-
asked her on a date. Don't worry.
He asked both of us on a date.
Oh my God, he was telling Abra that
I want his
picked him up.
vitamins. The hell with everything else.
He is one of my favorite people out here, and he came to ask my advice because he wants to open a deli type situation. So he was sitting there, and he's
Wait a minute. He asked you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Nothing.
Hide
I'm
your
not
hands.
saying anything.
Hide your face. I have an incredible business sense, and I'm telling you, and I'm a great salesman. I just don't do it often.
There you go.
But he was saying what? He is 18 with 50 years experience?
Something like that.
70
Or
years.
70 years of experience.
Yeah, he's 50 with 70 years experience.
I'm getting text messages right now from people asking why I'm drinking at 8:30 in the morning. It's not true. I'm drinking coffee. Bruce
Yes.
That's what she wants you to
lying.
think.
And I don't have a tan, and I don't have a two-piece,
Yeah,
and my
okay.
pants are mustard yellow,
Yeah, okay.
and they're skin tight.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, everyone?
Okay.
And I'm not wearing a turtleneck. I'm wearing a zebra-printed...
Would I lie to you? You guys have known me for a
Cardigan.
long time. Would I lie to you?
Oh, dear.
You and I first met when Reagan was president. Would I lie to you?
He is, though.
No. Would I lie to you? I mean, really, you've known me a long time.
I'm going to lose it.
Meanwhile, I got to ask Jen Murray this question since she's on the phone.
Hey,
Jen.
Jen.
How could you possibly let these two have swords?
They're very good. You got to watch out for them.
See?
That's right.
So what you're saying is I'm good. There's like glass between us and at
And
least 10 feet?
It's an
Cat-like
épée.
reflexes.
Wait, is that right? Is it épée?
Epee.
Épée. It's an épée, Bruce.
It was saber.
We did saber you.
Oh.
Saber, see?
Saber.
Woody Herman did a whole song about that called the Saber Dance.
So
But wait a minute. You let them have weapons of
Just give
not
them
mass
weapons and let them
destruction?
Go at it.
Pardon me?
Yes, they were excellent.
Oh, I'm sure they were. Regular cut-ups, those two.
So they do fencing. Fencing, is it Tuesday nights? Tuesday
Yes.
nights at the NOFO Wellness Center. How can people get involved in the fencing academy?
As an adult
Yeah, or a kid. Either.
or a kid, yeah, we have programs on the North Fork and the South Fork. You have to email or call me, and we'll get them situated. It doesn't matter if they have fencing experience or not. We're actually starting a high school program now
Nice.
this February for the North Fork, and we start kids as young as 7.
That's so cool. So this is breaking news again. So it's the East End Fencing Academy. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
And how can people get in touch with you?
East End Fencing at Gmail. They can visit the Facebook page. Call me, 631-520-1528. That's really how they're going to get a hold of me.
That's awesome. So I'd never done it before.
Neither have I.
And it's super fun. And the thing that I liked most about the class is that it's not like I never wanted to take art classes because I tried once and I was drawing circles and spheres for, weeks. But this was the first time I'd ever even thought about fencing, and I got to bout with Abra.
It was a lot of fun. Jen, actually, I have a question because I don't think I've ever asked you this, but how did you first get into fencing?
My high school had a fencing program, and I actually I walked after school from junior high school and walked up to the high school, and I started when I was 12.
Wow, were you one of the only ladies in your fencing class at that?
No, there was a girls' team,
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
a high school girls' team, and I got good at it, and I ended up training in New York City,
So where'd you grow up?
Huntington.
Oh, all right. Wow. Girls fencing team.
There's a lot of that up the island, believe it or not. Even like when I was in school back when, kids had dinosaurs as pets, there were fencing teams. And there were a lot of girls on the fence, that girls fencing team.
I imagine that's true. Like,
That was very popular.
it's a very like classic sport. I could see like if you do fence hunting, you also do, or you do fencing, you do fox hunting.
No, hopefully it's for everybody. Definitely want to break away from the idea that it's an elitist sport.
Okay.
But there it is continually growing in America. We're actually, Europe used to really dominate the sport on the World Cup scale, and America's doing really well now. We have a lot of top-notch fencers.
And also the other cool thing that I thought was that I didn't have to bring anything because she's got equipment. So it's $20 that's the class price, right?
Yes.
So $20, you go in workout clothes, and you're all set up. Jen's got you covered. And the NOFA Wellness Center is a really cool place because it's like you don't even know that it's there. It's on the it's off the main road in Kachog. It's on Depot Lane, right next to the 7-Eleven on Main Road. And it's this big, it almost looks like a log cabin. It's a big log cabin, and it's very deceiving. It's a big space in there. How did you?
Yeah, you would never be able to tell how much space from the outside.
How'd you get hooked up with them, and how did you start this academy?
I actually had run Island Fencing Academy in Plainview. I sold it, and I had to sign a non-compete, and then I moved out to the North Fork. People found out that I had this experience, and the non-compete agreement was over, and people wanted to get their kids involved in fencing. So I started first the North Fork youth program, and people just were giving me a lot of suggestions as to where to hold classes. And the North Fork Wellness Center is not far from where I live, so it was very easy. And Andrea, who owns that business, it was very accommodating, very excited to have fencing there. And I just started from there, really.
And you got it seems like you got a lot of foodies fencing. As the chef Taylor Knapp from Paw Paw and his beautiful fiance Caitlin Luce, they were there. Have there been any other foodies?
Thomas Hart at Deep Roots Farm.
Farmers.
Oh, foodie farmers fencing.
Yeah.
Well, it's a nice activity for me during the winter when I'm not as active. I got to tell you, after class on Tuesday, I didn't feel the burn or the soreness in my muscles like that evening, but I woke up the morning after and was just thinking to myself, oh God, this is just, it's funny because I usually feel that way after my first day of like transplanting by hand. And now I had it in February. It's kind of it's interesting. It was great, but it's a great workout, and it's nice because it's physically challenging. It's mentally challenging because you're dueling or you're bouting with somebody else, and you can't really read their mind. So it really forces you to actually concentrate upon their movements, and it's very strategic, as you always say during class.
And it is considered physical chess.
Yes, nice. Absolutely. I would completely agree with that. That's definitely what it is.
And it's respectful.
Yes.
Everyone had respect for each other, and that's even part, just the saluting. Like, Bruce, after you're finished, do you do it at the beginning or the end? We did it at the end?
Both.
At the beginning and end, yes.
See, I love that. At the beginning and the end, you salute the person that you are going to be, or you bouted with, or you're going to bout with. You put your helmet underneath your weapon hand, underneath your arm, and your sword is face down, of course, and you salute them. You raise the saber.
Fever, yeah.
And you put it down, and you bow a little bit.
No, I don't know. Somebody threw that in there.
It was probably me. I like to bow.
No, you don't have to bow.
That was me. I threw that in there. But so much fun. I like, my favorite is the parry. That's when you block, right?
Yes, good memory.
My favorite is the parry over your head, because it's like very dramatic. And it's like, you know, someone's like coming to like tap your helmet.
Yeah, it's a really exciting sport. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to be going there for the next like 3 or 4 weeks for sure.
Nice.
As my schedule allows, but Jen already knows that.
Yeah.
Bruce, would you do that?
Yeah.
No.
We're very happy to have you, Abra.
Thank you.
No, I'm going to put... People get... Jen, you can get hurt doing this, right?
Not with a weapon so much. It's really, as an adult, making sure that your body's conditioned.
I'm finished in that case.
Stretching, yeah.
I am finished.
It is more physical than it appears.
Yeah, well, I just... See?
You've got to...
I've made a life out of being rather sedentary.
You got to stretch your calves. You know?
Yes.
Well, you know, I walk every so often, you know.
That's important. And you've got they got that staircase.
And I got 43 steps coming up here in the morning, you know.
That would annoy
You sound like
me.
you're ready to go.
Bruce.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we should bring you on down.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce, maybe if you're nice to her, she might offer you a special deal or something, you know?
What? See the old guy need oxygen? I don't think so.
I would love that.
Oh, yeah, you would. I'm sure you would. Oh, look at Bruce. He's passed out on the floor. Damn. Oh, Lord. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but
We've come to the end.
we've come to yet the end of another
it's
program.
time to say goodbye to all my family.
And friends.
WRIV
Riverhead, New York.
1390 AM.
Jen, it was a pleasure. I realized that the last 5 minutes was probably just totally excruciating for you.
No, you're in your jammies, right?
Say that again?
Are you in your jammies?
I am.
Okay.
Did
sorry.
you see the pictures,
for
by the
you.
way, of Gianna on in L.A. in the two-piece with the tan?
No.
Did you see that?
No, I
No.
did not.
Oh, yeah, she was in L.A. a couple of weeks ago, and she was in this two-piece. It was amazing
Why are we still harping on this?
Because.
with a tan. And then Abra came up to see. Now, Abra got changed during the news, so she's ready for work. She's got on jeans and a flannel shirt and those boots.
But
You love those boots,
But she
Bruce.
wa-
I know you do.
I'm into that. You know,
I know you are.
I like big, tall rubber boots. I'm into that.
Wow.
Because I have real issues in life. But Abra came up this morning in a black chiffon gown. It's like whoa.
Oh, it's lies, man.
It's like it's got a side slit.
You don't know what you missed this morning, Jen. Anyway,
What's
listen,
her thigh?
we
No,
really
I'm just doing
we
it.
really appreciate your time. We really, really do.
And we'll be
Thanks for
back.
having me.
We'll be back. Oh, yeah. East End Fencing Academy at gmail.com. And also the Kickstarter. Donate to Abra's Kickstarter. Kickstarter.com. Search Feisty Acres. We'll be back
Yes.
next Thursday morning.